The topic is dynamic method dispatch. This is a very important topic. Dynamic method dispatch is useful for achieving runtime polymorphism using method overriding. It is useful for achieving runtime polymorphism. Now to understand it, we have to learn few things. So for that already I have taken some example. So first I will explain you few things, then I will explain you what is dynamic method dispatch. So let us look at the example here. I have two classes. One is a superclass and other one is a subclass that is extending that superclass. Superclass is having two methods. Method 1, I have given the name as method 1 and method 2. And this is displaying method 1 and this is displaying super method 2. Now coming to subclass. Subclass is also having two methods, method 2 and method 3. This is displaying sub method 2 and this is displaying method 3, right? Method 2 is already there in superclass, yes. So already we have a method here, so it is redefined here. So yes, it is overridden. Method 2 is overridden. Method 1, method 2 in superclass, method 2 and method 3 in subclass. So method 2 is redefined in subclass. This will display super method 2 and this will display sub method 2. So subclass is overriding one method and defining its own method, that is method 3. So we have studied about these two classes. There is method overriding done here. Now let us learn a new thing. Here I have an example. Class test and main method. Inside main method, that is my application. Here I have written something. Super S assign new sub. What is this? Object is subclass. New object is a subclass. This is an object. Yes. Object is from subclass. But this reference S is from superclass. Reference is of superclass. Object is of subclass and reference is of superclass. This is a new thing we are learning. Is it allowed? Yes, it is allowed. You can have a superclass reference and have an object of subclass. This is allowed. Other way it is not allowed. Other way means what? You cannot have a subclass reference and have an object of superclass. This is not allowed. This is not allowed. A superclass reference can have an object of subclass, but a subclass reference cannot have an object of superclass. This is allowed. Why this is allowed, why this is not allowed is a different discussion. I'll explain you about that one. Now, in this line, reference is superclass, object is subclass. How it looks like? The diagram I am showing you here. S is a reference of superclass and this is an object of subclass. What are the methods this object is having? It is having its own two methods and two more methods are coming from superclass because it extends the superclass. So it is getting method 1, method 2 of superclass and it is overriding method 2. So method 1, method 2 coming from superclass and it is overriding this one. So this will be shadowed. So total how many methods are accessible in this object? Method 1, overridden method, method 2 and method 3. Three methods are there. Now let us learn next thing. Using a superclass reference, what are the methods I can call? Can I say s dot method 1? Can I call this method? Yes, I can call this method. This method, is it present there in this object? Yes, it is there. This method I can call. Can I say s dot method 2? Can I call this method? Yes, I can call this method. This method is there in this object. Yes. But can I say s dot method 3? No, I cannot say this. I cannot say this. Is it not there in the object? Yes, it is there in the object, but I cannot call it. Why? Because the reference is of superclass. Reference is superclass. See, this superclass is having only two methods, method 1 and method 2. Only two methods are there. And I am using a reference to this one as a superclass, so I can access only two methods. Means a reference of superclass have knowledge of only two methods. It doesn't know about method 3. Though it is present in the object is subclass, but the reference that is used, that doesn't have that idea. It knows only two methods, meth1 and meth2. So let us conclude something from this discussion. Listen carefully. A superclass reference can hold the object of subclass, but it can call only those methods which are defined in superclass. Yes, those methods will also be available in subclass, so you can call only those methods on the object. You cannot call new method that is there in subclass. If subclass is having its own extra methods, you cannot call them. Using a superclass reference, we can hold the object of subclass but call only the methods present in superclass. I am stressing on this point. I told more than one time because this is important. Now finally, we will learn what does it mean by dynamic method dispatch. Let us see this. Here, using a superclass reference, I am calling method 1. Method 1. What will be printed? Method 1 is present here. Meth1 will be printed on the screen. This will be printed on the screen. Is it present in this object? Yes, it is inheriting from superclass. So that method is there. So this will be printed. Now second method, s.meth2. What will be printed from this one? See, meth2, this one is shadowed. It is hidden. Then which meth2 will be called? This one. This belongs to this one, this class, subclass. So what will be printed? Sub-meth2. Sub-meth2. Yes, this will be called. And this cannot be called at all. Now using superclass reference, I can call these two methods. But when I say meth1, this method is called this one, right? And when I say meth2, not this one, this overrided method will be called. This method will be called. Why not this method? Why this method is called? Because the methods are called depending on the object, not depending on the reference. They are not called depending on the reference, they are called depending on the object. So if it is an overrided version of a method, then the new version, that is subclass version, will be called because the object is subclass. So now we can conclude. Now we have seen various things. Let us put them together all. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Dynamic method dispatch means what? I am defining it. Superclass reference holding an object of subclass and calling overrided method. I'll remove this one. Overrided method. Then which method will be called? Whose method will be called? The method of object method will be called. The method based on the object will be called. So that's it. This is runtime polymorphism. This is runtime polymorphism. And why it is called as dynamic method dispatch. Dispatch means calling a method. Dynamically calling a method. Why it is called as? See, reference is superclass. But the object, when it is created, as it is new, when you are using new, means it is dynamically created in heap. Objects are created in heap dynamically. We know very well that. So object will be created at runtime in heap. So until runtime, we cannot decide which method to call. At runtime, depending on the object, the method will be called. So program will take a decision at runtime which method should be called. It will see whose object is attached to this reference of superclass and it will call that method. If you have an object of superclass, then superclass method will be called. So depending on the object attached to it, see, if suppose instead of this, if I say new super, now whose method will be called? Whose method will be called? Method 2. This version will be called. And this will not be an object, a different object, only have two methods. Then this method will be called. So the method will be called depending on the object. That's all about dynamic method dispatch. In the coming videos, we will see some examples using this dynamic method dispatch, and I'll explain you how runtime polymorphism is achieved using dynamic method dispatch. That's all.